I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, what is up? We are going to be talking about 911 Lone Star Season 1, Episode 7, Bum Steer, you guys. This was amazing. Yes, this is an amazing, amazing episode. Michelle might have cracked the case on her sister's disappearance. Judd is over here getting prayed up, y'all. And Owens faces a huge challenge, but I am not here to do this alone. My name is Ebone Chatman, and I'm going to be your host tonight. But then I have this amazing Lauren B. Mosley, the 911 super fan.
Woo! Yes, guys.
How are you doing?
Great.
How
It's
are
another
you?
Monday.
Right? It's another wonderful, beautiful Monday. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Yes. What were your thoughts on this episode overall?
Look, we literally are saying bullseye. Bullseye because Ryan Murphy and the crew have nailed this episode. This is the rhythm, this is the feeling and the tone that we have all been wanting. I know I can speak for myself. I'm feeling like this is our original juicy tempo from the original 911 series. We get this crazy moment with Michelle. I'm like clenching my pearls. I know I don't have any on.
No,
but
you do,
they are
girl.
there, right?
She got some cute pearls on her collar right now. Yeah, you know, Michelle we kind of get a little bit more info with Michelle, right? Like because we had a lot in the beginning, right? I think they front loaded the whole Michelle story in the first couple of episodes.
Yes.
Then we laid off. We didn't hear anything. So now we're back on the Michelle and the sister disappearance. So I thought that was a great tie-in. So I'm happy to hear more information about that. So Carlos comes to Michelle with information.
Oh my God.
About the blue truck.
Talk about a true friend. Like,
right.
As you said, we backed off of the story a little bit. So we really wasn't expecting too much. And then Carlos just comes right on in and swoops in and like, hey, I have news for you. He's been working hard on this, and he's really been holding her down.
Yeah, I love that he came through with that information. What did you think about that whole scene? We did find out that we have Arlene. We have the owner of a truck.
Yes.
Then it got reported stolen by someone named Wade.
Yes.
Right? So then they go to the bar to try to figure out, to talk to the bartender of like where, Michelle or where the sister was and where Eileen was and where Wade was that night, right? Which was at this bar. They go to talk to the bartender, and the bartender is such an asshole.
Look.
He was not even helpful at all.
He was having a rough day, and perhaps he has a rough day every day.
Right. He probably doesn't like his job at all.
Like, my thoughts were, look, this has been long overdue, and it's crazy to finally watch Michelle get some type of lead and a step towards closure, right? So we meet Detective Washington, and we automatically know that she's been a key player in this case since the beginning, since 2017.
Right.
And unfortunately, she really hasn't been that much help. So to really lean on her after Carlos and Michelle have been doing all the work, it was really interesting to have this intimate moment of watching Michelle accept the fact that law enforcement can be there for you and law enforcement can actually help you in a positive manner.
Right. Because, at first, when she first met Detective Washington, she was very snarky and very
she was
shady.
not having it.
Very shady. But then she does, towards the end of the episode, she does come around and it's like, wow, it's so nice to hear that you actually, the detective was like, I actually take this home with me every night. Like, this is not anything that I'm not working on. It's just because you don't see it doesn't mean I'm not doing it. Exactly. I thought that was a great touching moment. So then it kind of gave Michelle a little bit of relief to be like, okay, like, cool. Like,
it allowed her to soften up a little bit. We literally saw her like have this weight lifted off of her. And it was a little bit of a sarcastic moment because Michelle has been dealing with this for years. Right. But you actually genuinely saw her breathe and understand that someone understands her and wants to solve this case other than Carlos.
The great thing is Carlos came with the information, and then once that information kind of got tipped off, it gave the detective a little bit more fire under her butt, right?
Yes.
Because at the end of the episode, we see a blue pickup truck getting pulled out of a body of water. So clearly, Carlos, whatever he was doing, was working, and it helped because it moved the case along. Because if Carlos wouldn't have came with that, we would still be sitting on this case right now.
And sometimes that's just what you need. You need a little, fire underneath your bum to get you pushing in the right direction. And I think this was that moment. And thank God we have a lead, right?
Yes. Speaking of a lead, Lauren, would you like to tell us what we have going on here at AfterBuzz TV?
Absolutely. As always, y'all are our fans. We love you to pieces. We appreciate your love and support. We always want you to tune in on our shows, but also check us out on our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if you did not know, we have a TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, follow us on there as well. Check out our silly videos before and after our show. And as always, give us 5 stars.
Yes, 5.
5 stars. The other ones don't count. They don't mean that we're horrible, but it just means that we want your full support. So give us 5 stars, and as always, you can always follow us there and keep up with everything that we're doing.
Yes, thank you so much. So let's get back into the story here. Let's talk about Judd, because Judd is over here getting prayed up, y'all. Okay, I was so proud of Judd coming around full circle this episode. So, really the whole premise of the show, or this episode, was the stress of Owens passing the CPAT test, right? So the tensions are high. Everyone's kind of stressed out. We do see Paul expresses his concern, saying like he doesn't want to lose his job. Yeah. He's trying to explain to Judd like, you're going to be okay because you look and talk and walk just like this man. So you're not you have nothing to be worried about. But on the other hand, everyone else in here that looks different, we all have something to worry about. And that idea kind of went over Judd's head. What did you think about that?
I think it was a reality check. And we saw Grace really reel him in, as she always does. She is his peace and security. She is what grounds this man. And we see him get this realization that, hey, this is your hometown. And that was one of the key points that was made. You did not have to come from a different state, uproot your life, and then come to this new land to make a life for yourself. And then in a blink of an eye, a split second, it may be gone because the captain decided to have a ego session for a moment.
I mean, it was like ego. It's a little bit of race. It's a little bit of everything, right? Like they kind of touched on it all. They were kind of like, yeah, well, you're not white. You're not from Texas. Like, there's that crew is very diverse. Extremely diverse. So I think that was everyone's concern, to be like, yeah, actually, we may not have jobs. I thought that was very, I like that they touched on it a little bit. And then, so Judd was kind of hard, but like you said, Grace kind of softened him up and was kind of like reality check.
She has a really sweet way of putting things into perspective. And I think when it comes down to diversity, it's always a very tough topic when you're intercrossing between different ethnicities. So to see their dynamic with an interracial couple and have this type of conversation where it's very open, very sweet, and in a nurturing way, I think this is something that writing just excelled with in this area. This is a topic that should be handled in a delicate moment, but also in a very truthful and authentic way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So I love that they touched on it. But the big reveal of the episode, the real topic, was Owens.
Yes.
So Owens, you see him in the beginning. Honestly, you guys, I almost forgot that Owens had to take the test this week. So I came in like, oh, what's this episode going to be this week? And I was like, oh, that's right. He's about to take the CPAT
matchup.
Test. Right. Like, okay, what's about to happen? Like, is he going to pass out? So you see Owens training. He's training really hard, and he's having his son time him. His son's really on him. I was like, I love it. And then all of a sudden he passes out, and I was like, oh no. No. But honestly, I thought he was going to pass out sooner. Like all those tests.
Yep.
Do you think you could have done that?
Look, for me, when they said that he did it in 13 minutes, I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Right.
13. He was like, did I meet my 10? And just to think about the extraneous lifestyle and behavior and the physical aspect of being a firefighter, just to see that laid out in front of us. And granted, yes, Owen is a little bit more of a mature man, but just to think about what anybody has to endure to be at their peak and top notch is just crazy, because I'm not that old and I'm like 13. Right. Let's go.
Right. If I could do that in 13 minutes, it may take me more like 20. Okay. I need more time. That was really intense. So yeah, I thought that was I love that and TK also was concerned about, wanting to work with his dad. He was like, please, we want to make sure that you're good. I want to make sure that I'm still working with you. Like, I think the bond that they have is
have
so
an amazing
strong
dynamic
that he's now like, I just want to be here with you. So even if I got my job, that's fine, but I want you to be in this experience with me.
Yeah, and that's something that even Judd talked about towards the end. He said, Wayne may be my friend, but you're my captain. And that's a huge aspect that nobody wants to lose.
Yeah, it's a love, it's a respect level that you just can't get from everyone.
Yeah.
It's just like when you meet people, you don't connect with everyone, to be honest with you. You connect with certain people that you feel a connection with,
Yeah, for sure.
So Owens now, okay, so Billy's over here really testing Owens, okay, and he, Owens was kind of like, yeah, like, I thought he was my friend, like, it was really nice to have someone that was kind of, like, there for me, and someone I didn't have to police, or someone I didn't have to, like, reprimand or anything.
Right.
I felt bad for him.
Well, I think it's because Owen is coming from a big city, moving to a little town, and at the end of the day, we all want to have that connection. We all want to be able to have that spirit of home and that spirit of family that's outside of your day-to-day life. And I think for the first time he was given this opportunity of having a friend. Sure, he was able to lean on Michelle a little bit, who's a little closer to his age range, but at the end of the day,
it's like different when you need a guy. You need a guy friend.
Exactly.
Like girls are like, it's like I would love, you want a girlfriend, be like, girl, guess what happened to me today?
Exactly.
Like that, it's a different energy. But I do have to give it to Judd, because Judd really gave Owens the business when he went in there to talk to him, and he was like, oh, so you're the one who decided that you wanted to take this test. Who told you that was a good idea, sir? It's almost impossible. And you're over here trying to like really challenge yourself. But I love that scene. What did you think?
I loved it, because here's the deal at the end of the day. Judd gave him the truth, and everyone else in the firehouse gave him the truth too. And it just boils down to people being really authentic, really honest with each other. And if you can't have that in the firehouse, then what are you doing?
Right.
So to see that type of behavior, that type of dynamic within their family, it's great to see us start to really settle in and marinate and begin to see the true development of their relationship.
Yeah, because there was a kind of lot going on there. You have Judd finally understanding what everyone else is feeling. Like,
yes.
Like, I'm going to lose my job. So now he goes in to talk to Owens and stands up for them, stands up for the rest of the crew. Then you also have Judd, who is, talking to his superior in a way that's kind of like checking him, and I don't think that that's something that you do with your boss. Like, I'm not going to go check my boss.
Right.
But this is, of course, a different dynamic. But at the same time, Owens is his superior. And he went in there and was like, listen.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. And you need to stop being so prideful and stop being all about your ego and like take a step back. Like, you challenge yourself to do something dumb that you cannot physically handle.
Yeah.
Even if you're healthy, let alone you're going through chemo and having lung cancer. Like, come on.
Yeah. And I feel like I was so invested in this episode where there were moments, and y'all can leave in the comments if y'all felt this way too, but there were moments where I was like, how dare you tell him that he can't do this?
Right.
But the honest to God truth is that, yes.
Right, because you want to root for Owens. You want to be like, yes, like, you got it. Everything's going to be great. But at the end of the day, there's some point where you have to like draw that line and be like, this isn't right. I can't do this. But so we fast forward to Owens and Billy being on the golf course, right? So they're golfing, and Billy's taunting him, and Owens kind of gives up the firehouse. You guys, he gave up the firehouse. I was like, what are you doing?
I did not see that coming. That took a serious bigger man to do.
I thought he was just gonna have a talk with him to be like, let's just back out this challenge. But he was over here like, no, I resign. I was like, what's going on? No, you can't resign. You're the show. Wait a second, okay? But Billy ends up getting struck by lightning, and Owens saves him.
Yep.
Bomb. And then he's able to keep his job because he showed physicality, and he showed that he was able to handle his business. So what did you think about that part?
Rightly so.
Right?
I don't want to be the person that's just like, that's what you get.
Right.
But Wayne had that coming to him. Billy, sorry. I don't know why. Oh, it's because we're used to seeing Wayne.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't see Wayne this week. We'll see him probably next week.
Next
but
week.
anyway, Billy, we're used to seeing Billy be really, really tough, and we're used to seeing him have this one-up, and he thinks that he's won. And he's talking this smack on the green, having this moment where he should be humble because here someone just came to you, let him know, say, look, all I'm asking is that you take care of my people. And he wasn't even man enough to say, okay, fine. I can respect that you're going to walk away, and I promise you that I'm going to take care of your people, which actually leads me to believe that Billy just doesn't need to be a captain at all. Because
Right.
if he doesn't care about somebody else's people, and granted, you know, we would hope that he cares about his own firehouse, it's just sad to see that that character as a whole is a reflection of you being so driven that you just forget about people being people and seeing that there's a whole firehouse that moved down here to pick up what was left of the 126 and start something out of nothing.
Right.
And you're just like,
Yeah, he's selfish. He's egotistical. He's all about himself. So I think we really got to see his true colors. But I do have to say, I love when Judd comes back at the end and it was like, see, I told you, only an act of God would get you to save the firehouse, you know? I was like, Judd, like, I love it. But at the end, when Owens goes to see Billy and he hands him the book, or like gifts him the book of Poker for Dummies, I thought that was so hilarious. I thought that was like cheeky and fun. They do kind of agree to be friends, but I don't trust it. Do you?
I don't trust him.
I
told you that. I was like, I think when the opportunity arises, Billy's going to do whatever is best for Billy. And the sad truth is that, and it's sad that he got struck by lightning, because it's like, dang, you just went through cancer.
Right.
You were, now you're struck by lightning. You have a long road ahead of you to come back. And I feel like his motives and his intentions behind this was just to prove his worth and to regain control in his life. And that doesn't make his actions right, by no means. But I feel like this is only going to be the next thing to propel him to be even more competitive, even more dishonest in some areas.
Right.
And I don't want to make predictions, but I don't trust him.
Well, you guys, please let us know in the comments what you guys think about that whole dynamic and that friendship. But for now, we are going to move on to our next topic and segment, which is news and gossip.
Yes.
Okay, Lauren, take it away.
Woo! All right, you guys. So we haven't really been giving you too much news because the show is new and everyone is just talking about how this spinoff is here, it's here. But this week, we've been snooping on some of our favorite cast members' Instagram, and they have some videos. As you see, Rafael Silva is showing off his firearm skills. He gives credit to Angela Bassett herself for teaching him how to handle his firearm for this show. And then we have...
You guys, I don't know about you, Lauren, but he looks so fine right now shooting this gun, for real. Like, have you ever been to the gun range?
Yes.
Do you like it?
I love it.
Oh my God, you guys, I hated it. I've been at least 5 times. I hated it the first
What?
3, but now I got a few tips. I'm like, okay, don't mess with me. I got you. Don't mess with me.
The first time I went, I was hitting like bullseyes, like in the center. Like,
oh,
let's
this
go.
one, no, don't mess with her, for
Just
real.
saying. Just saying.
Right.
Just some natural traits here.
Okay. Well, her mom is a police officer, so we won't get into that. But
And then we also have another fun clip from Brian Michael Smith himself. He was here on the show, so of course we're snooping on his Instagram. He was doing squats with Julian Work, who also plays Mateo. This is a fun clip.
yes,
Very
he
much
is
so.
getting it. I could not do that at all.
I know
Please.
I couldn't.
No.
Like, look, maybe if they were actually sitting like more of a piggyback style, it might be one thing. But to have someone
On your back?
stretched out like that, the weight is totally different. And just kudos to you, Brian. So
Yeah, because I feel like the body, like the head's lighter than the feet, and it's all unbalanced. Good, Brian. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. But you know what? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was so much fun. You know what, Lauren? Where can they find you on Instagram?
Well, as always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lauren B. Mosley. That's Mosley. And let's chat.
Yes. And you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Ebone Chatman 12. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will see you next week for another amazing episode. Bye.
See y'all. Have a great week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.